Excellent practice today, I thought. Really, really good energy, good emotion. A lot of visitors, which was neat. One in particular. Can I help you out, boys?
Sorry.
One in particular, Dino Mangiero, one of the former great players in the history of our program. A guy who's coached Division I football in the Big Ten. Somebody who's currently one of the more successful high school coaches in the area. It was exciting to have him there with his staff, and he got a chance to talk to the team. And I thought it was a great message. So, with that, questions?
You talk a little bit about the scrimmage on Saturday, the format, and what your expectations are.
I think the format will look very similar to the scrimmage 2 weeks ago, with the addition of some of the field zones that we now have in, things like goal line, coming out, 2-minute drill. Those were things we didn't have in for the first scrimmage. So we're going to try and touch on everything that we've done so far in the spring and do it down in the stadium, because it's always a little bit different when you go down there.
Will it be game-like?
In what way?
Just in the not scripting a lot of stuff. Just means
Yeah, the situations will be scripted, but the plays will, for the most part, will not be scripted. We might have a little bit of a scripted portion in the beginning, but it'll be a lot of play at what we call. Yes.
How much ground can quarterbacks gain or lose based off this second scrimmage? How much will you still be looking at them?
I think a lot. I think anytime you go down there, it's an opportunity to showcase yourself in the stadium. The coaches on the sideline, they're not on the field anymore. So I think all those things are definitely opportunities to separate yourself.
Kyle, I know you'll want to see everybody, but are there a couple key guys you really want to see how they perform in this scrimmage? Kind of like either guys that bumped up the depth chart because of injury or what have you?
I think certainly it always starts at the quarterback position, but I think when you move past that position, it's really the second tier players, the guys who are really fighting to break into the starting lineup, or the guys that are fighting to work into the depth on the offensive line in the secondary. I think those to me are some of the more key positions. Guys like Stephen Long and Kevin Snyder, I think we've seen them play a lot of football. We got a pretty good idea what they can do, but the guys like L.J. Liston, Miles Nash, we're still finding out what they can do. So I think it's those second-tier players, aside from the quarterbacks, that I think we'll have to try to get the best look at.
When you look at a guy like Miles, who's kind of transformed his body since he's got here, is that what you envisioned when you guys got him?
It is. We knew he was a great athlete. He had played quarterback and he played defense, and they've used him in a lot of places because he was one of the better athletes they had on the talented team, so it made sense. But yeah, it's what we've envisioned, and I don't think it's stopped yet. I think he's a guy, even a year from now, is going to continue to get bigger, and he's already shown that athletically he can still make some plays.
A number of guys have talked about transforming the body this offseason. You talk about the job that the strength and conditioning staff they do.
Yeah, I think Coach Cole does an excellent job down there, and as the head football coach, there's no doubt that is one of the more critical hires in your organization, because they spend more time with your players really than the coaches do, just by rules. So they get them first with the summer program for the freshmen. They're the ones training them on the off days here in the spring, and then they carry them all the way really through the cycle of their career. So I think having somebody like Jeremy is a major asset for me, and then the people who work under him, I think, do a good job. Mike Tufo, Eddie Grayer, Joe Giacobbe. Those guys are a critical part of our staff.
When you look at some of the early enrollees, what do you kind of look to see from them in this second scrimmage? They have, some more footing under them. They've been through it more this spring with some more experience.
I just want to see progress. That's all. For those guys, this is bonus time. For all those guys, the rest of their class will get here in the summer. To see somebody like Marcus Applefield, who's getting really all the second team reps right now at right tackle. I mean, that is going to be invaluable to him as we start training camp in a couple months.
From those early enrollees, do you see any at this point that you're like, they could have a place on this team in the fall?
I don't know. I don't know that yet. I don't know that just yet. I think it's still a little bit too early. I think when they have a chance to learn everything for the second time, I think we'll have a better indication of what they'll be able to contribute next year.
Kyle, the left side of your offensive line started all 13 games last year. Where have you seen that familiarity show up most this spring?
I think the place you see experience for an offensive lineman show up is the ability to pick up stunts and twists and blitzes. I mean, that's really where your experience level of understanding not just what's going on directly in front of you, but what's going on at the second and third level of the defense should really help you. And I think I've seen that this spring.
Kyle, with Dino Mangiero and Logan Ryan coming back today, you seem to tag me a lot. What does it say about the program that these guys keep coming back this spring?
I think it says that the wristband we wear actually means something. And I don't know if there's a program in the country that doesn't talk about trying to create a family atmosphere, but I think we spend a lot of time talking about it. We spend a lot of time investing in it, and I think it pays off. And to have those guys come back from all different eras, different generations of Rutgers football is probably the best compliment we can get as a football program.
Got time for two more.
What do you think about that rule that just got passed about the meal plan and the food and all that type of thing?
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know from a tangible standpoint. I haven't really looked into it yet to see from a day-to-day operation, what it will be, what the cost will be, what the ability or the details of it, I guess. But I spoke with Jerry Donato about that when they were here, for their visit. And I never really understood why you can only have one training table meal a day if we're trying to teach these players about proper nutrition and they're working to the degree that they're working.
Kyle, as a former offensive line coach, when you guys were recruiting Keith, was there ever any concern that he was, maybe too tall? Because I know sometimes with those guys, they aren't as fluid in their hips or don't bend as well.
Keith is somewhere between 6'7" and 6'8", and I think that's okay. I didn't worry about that because he's athletic. He's a guy who can bend at the ankles, knees, and hips. I think when you get to the 6'9", then you might think about it. But
Right.
For somebody like Keith, when we recruited him, we thought he had the prototypical left tackle body frame and the feet to go with it. So I think he's still making progress, moving in that direction, but not a concern now.
Thanks.